Now that some of the theory is out of the way, you need to know how to access MySQL on the command line. Some of you may not be able to do this. It depends on the level of access that you have from your host provider. If you have access to this tool, then it will be of great use to you. If not, there are other ways to access your database data and structures, namely phpMyAdmin, which I will cover at the end of the next chapter. For now, you should know how to access the MySQL command line. First, you need to log into your host provider account using the Telnet or SSH protocol. There are many programs for Mac and PC that allow you to use Telnet or SSH. SSH is simply a secure Telnet protocol. On a Mac, in OS X, you can use the terminal program, found in your Applications/Utilities folder. For PC, there is a program called PuTTY, which can be found and downloaded at this address. There are a ton of programs available, however, so if these aren't to your taste, just do a search for Telnet or SSH on download.com or tucows.com. If you need help accessing your host account with SSH or Telnet, call your host provider, and they should be able to assist you. So, once you have logged in, as I am doing so now, we need to find out if you have access to the MySQL command line. So to test that out, you want to type in MySQL, switch U, and then the username that your MySQL account has been assigned to, -p, also called switch p, the dash in Unix is also called a switch, space, and then the database name that you want to connect to. Now that information, if you don't have it handy, should be available from your host provider, again, if you don't know it. Now if you have access to the MySQL command line, you should be prompted, as we are here, to enter a password. So we enter our password, and now we are at the MySQL prompt. If you receive the message that MySQL could not be found or is not a recognizable command, check with your host provider to see if you do have access to the MySQL command line. Once you have access here, you have a wide range of commands available to you. I will cover some specifics in the next chapter, but for now, here are a few basic commands. Keep in mind that some of these commands depend on the version of MySQL installed and the MySQL permissions that you have. So the first command is show databases. This gives you a list of all the databases that you're allowed to see in MySQL. Next, to select a database to use, if you didn't specify it when logging in, you type use and then the database name. This specifies that any table or row specific commands now will be executed under that database. Next, we have show tables. This gives us a list of the tables in the database that we're currently using. The final command I want to show you is how to get a description of the fields in a table. Simply type describe and then the table name. In this case, I'm going to use sessions. And you can see here we're shown the field name, the type it is, and some additional information. So this is a listing for that database, sessions, of all of the columns that are listed in that table, all of the columns that are listed in that table, and the type of column that they are. So these basic commands will give you the mobility you need to navigate through the MySQL command line. In the next chapter, we'll get more into the basics of configuring users and creating databases and tables in MySQL on the command line.